Welcome to Retirement Lifestyles, where it's all about the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, and today Dr. Brubaker and Dr. Jones are here from Mercy Hospital's orthopedic department to talk about what to do when your body starts to crack and creak. Then in our lifestyle segment, we'll check in with Jim French from the Trinity Performing Arts Center about how retirees can get a taste of the limelight. Plus, I've got some tips for you, 20 and 30-year-olds, on starting for planning now for retirement. Retirement Lifestyle starts right now. Hi, and welcome to our health segment of the show. And I'm delighted to have Dr. Jones and Dr. Brubaker with Mercy's Center for Spine and Joint Health today. We're going to be talking about our health segment, and specifically, guys, I'd like to talk about, your specialty over at Mercy. So could you give us kind of a brief little introduction on what it is that you do in your practice and those that you serve?
Sure.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, we're both orthopedic spine surgeons, and I specialize in spine care, specifically on the low back and the cervical spine. And my largest treatment segment really is the elderly patient or retired patient that's having problems with their back or neck.
Dr. Brubaker.
I also am an orthopedic surgeon. I specialize in hip and knee replacement and hip and knee arthritis disorders primarily. The bulk of my practice probably revolves around joint replacement.
Okay. So you guys are the co-directors over at Mercy, and it sounds like you pretty much have the full package, the spine and the hip and the joints. Now, do you mostly help elderly, or is this are those conditions that affect a whole lot of people?
Well, in most cases, arthritis starts at a very early age, and it's usually not until many years that it really becomes truly symptomatic, where patients will sort of experience some of the problems, whether it's aches and pains, or in my case, nerve compression problems, that they actually seek treatment. So again, it's probably you have arthritis, I have arthritis, and I'm sure Dr. Brubaker has arthritis as well, but hopefully we're not very symptomatic at this point. And it usually does take 15 to 20 years of the arthritis to sort of develop and become a symptomatic problem that requires treatment from either one of us, whether it's just from a conservative care standpoint or actually from a procedural standpoint.
So you're saying arthritis is really something, are we just kind of born with it? Or is it something that, because if you develop it early on and then the symptoms come 20, 30 years from now, is there something that we can do when we're younger to guard against it or be proactive against it?
Well, I mean, that's one of the most common questions I get is, why do I have this? And, part of it is genetics. There's absolutely a genetic link to do with, if you're going to develop it, if you're predisposed, but also lifestyle choices, general health. There are some medical conditions which can accelerate some of the problems that we do see. But it really is a combination of all of those. It's not hard to specify one over the other, but absolutely there are some things that we can do early on or even middle age to sort of slow down that process.
What are some of the things, guys, that we can do early on?
I'm going to add just a little bit to what Dr. Jones said. I back to the age thing, I think that for hip and knee problems, the average time in the United States that becomes surgical is somewhere between 62 and 65 years old. And there are many things that contribute to it. Trauma is a big one. Auto accidents can compound it. Your genetics, how your bones are formed, and things that you can do to prevent it are maintain a healthy weight most of your life, avoid smoking, treat diabetes aggressively if you have it. If you have one of these diseases that Dr. Jones is talking about, like rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis, make sure that you're managing that so that it doesn't have the chance to destroy your joints, because they're usually preventable if you treat them early enough.
Well, you mentioned weight, and I've noticed that a lot of people who have knee replacements, my mother, for example, had a knee replacement, had them both done recently. And, growing up, I remember she was on diets and doing things like that. But is that one of the key factors? You would think that carrying weight would just stress out those knees over time. And is that one of the main things that you would tell somebody, hey, maybe in their 40s or something like that, and say, hey, you got a history of this in the family. Your mom just came to see me.
maybe you can catch it early and be proactive with the diet and, like you say, your lifestyle to offset that.
I don't know that weight causes it.
Okay.
But if you are predisposed to it, say you're genetically born with poor quality cartilage, any extra weight you carry will accelerate the process of that cartilage breaking down.
Okay, so you can be born, I mean, you can already have poor cartilage just because of the genetic makeup that you have.
Well, it's not worn away. So arthritis is the wearing away of cartilage in the joint.
Okay.
But you can have cartilage that's like a Goodyear 100,000 mile tire, and you can have cartilage that's like the $20 tire on the corner store that came from some unknown place.
That's an interesting analogy. How do I get the 100,000 mile warranty if I'm born with the $20 tire? Is there any way to do that through working out or fitness or diet?
Again, kind of what Dr. Brubaker said, you're kind of born with a predisposition if you're going to develop it or not.
Yeah.
But I think absolutely extra weight does, especially in the spine, from an axial compression standpoint, that extra weight does tend to accelerate some of the problems that we see. In my younger age population that we do microdiscectomies, little minimally invasive procedures that they already have early signs of arthritis. I mean, that's kind of what I tell them. I said, don't pick up smoking. That will absolutely accelerate degenerative disc disease. And don't become heavy, because that will absolutely accelerate it as well. It doesn't cause it per se, but it can accelerate the whole process.
Okay. Now, speaking of arthritis, you've got different stages of arthritis. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, doctors, but the worst is rheumatoid. And I've seen that with a lot of people who lose functionality, like with their hands and things like that. How does that come on? Is that preventable?
Well, like rheumatoid is actually a genetic disease.
Okay.
And that's a little bit different from what, the most common cause of arthritis, which is just osteoarthritis. And that's arthritis of old age, essentially. And kind of what Dr. Brubaker said from an age group standpoint, those in their late 50s, early 60s, that's the bulk of probably who we see from a treatment standpoint that is the osteoarthritis. And that's just the progression of normal wear and tear, degradation of the cartilage, in the joints.
Okay.
So rheumatoid arthritis is a disease where your body actually attacks that cartilage. And that's less than 5% of the population.
Oh, okay.
So wear and tear arthritis or osteoarthritis is kind of the breakdown just based on things that happen to you or wear or stress that your joint accumulates over the span of your life. So that's where the weight plays a role specifically. So as far as stages of arthritis go, there are actually histologic, or you look at it under a slide, if you slice it and look at it, it'll tell you, the pathologist can tell you what the cartilage looks like. There's a classification system for that. But from a clinical perspective, what really matters is how much cartilage is left, because cartilage has no nerves in it, can't feel anything.
Okay.
So when you wear the cartilage away enough that the bone underneath it, which has nerves in it, starts to feel the stress that you're putting on your joint, that's when
Is that when you kind of get that rubbing effect, and that's when the pain comes, it starts hitting those nerves, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what joint it is. That's when it becomes clinical, is when the nerve becomes irritated.
And is that when you guys that's when surgery probably starts to need to happen, is when you can go in and help the grinding, so to speak? It's the best way in my mind, you talk about the cartilage is gone. Is cartilage replaceable?
Not in arthritic conditions.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of research going on in that area, but not really. As far as when surgery, what the timing for surgery is really dependent on the disability the person feels.
Okay.
Because there are people that come in that'll have an X-ray that shows no cartilage, but they don't have that much pain. But eventually, if they start to wear the bone away, most people will eventually develop quite a bit of pain.
Okay. In the North State, is you would think that with the active lifestyles and stuff that we have up here, do you see a lot of people who are coming in because of the stress on the joints and stuff like that?
Well, again, I think it's one of the most common things, that everyone, especially for back pain, everyone has back pain at some point in their life. And so absolutely, it's part of the inherent issues with an active lifestyle sometimes as we get older.
Doctors, can you give us an idea if someone wants to reach out to you and give you a call or come in for a checkup, where could you be reached at over at Mercy?
The best place is to call the clinic directly, and the numbers obviously are area code 530, and then clinic number is 242-3500.
I appreciate you guys being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jones, Dr. Brubaker.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, super healthy. I want to say you want to be super healthy, especially going into your retirement years. And doctors like this who specialize in the joints and the back and the knees can help get you into that lifestyle. Remember, on Retirement Lifestyle, it's all about the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. Health is a huge one, so reach out to these specialists who can give you the best chance at being all you can be in retirement.
20 and 30-somethings have very different personal finance and investing priorities than their parents. Instead of worrying about Social Security benefits and catch-up IRA contributions, you might be worrying about digging yourself out of student loan debt, buying your first house, or establishing yourself in a new career. Retirement for Gen Y and Gen X investors? It's going to look really different than that of the baby boomers. Today's retirees can look forward to Social Security income, pension plans, and the advantages of decades of stable work. The next generations of retirees may not have those, making personal savings and investing utterly critical. Continued health advances means that average lifespans are increasing. By the time you reach retirement age, hey, don't be surprised if you live 30 years. Today I'm going to give you 6 powerful moves that will help jumpstart your financial future. By starting early, you'll get out of debt faster, save up for important life goals, and give yourself a solid head start on retirement. Number 1, take control of your health. You might think that topic of health doesn't really fit into discussion of personal finance, but you're wrong. Medical bills are one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States. If you don't have health insurance, make it a priority. Studies show that Americans aged 19 to 34 are the age group most likely to go without health insurance. As of 2011, 38% of young adults were uninsured. Gambling on your health is a mistake. Avoiding medical visits can cause small problems to worsen and become serious problems. Even if you're generally healthy, a car accident or unexpected illness can bankrupt you. Fortunately, being young has many advantages, one of which may be lower insurance premiums. Basic health insurance doesn't have to cost a lot of money. The health insurance landscape changed drastically with the Affordable Care Act. If you're under the age of 26, you may even be able to get coverage under your parents' policy. If you're not eligible for employer-sponsored or parental insurance, you can shop for health insurance plans on the ACA federal or state insurance exchanges by going to healthcare.gov. Depending on factors like your age, income, and health status, you may be able to qualify for even lower monthly premiums that take the sting out of the high costs of healthcare. Number 2, sharpen your negotiation skills. If you're like most Americans, you'll make majority of your wealth by working a job and collecting a paycheck. One of the savviest financial plays you can make early on in your career is to learn how to negotiate a higher salary. Since subsequent raises and job offers will be based on your previous salary, you can drastically improve your lifetime wealth by setting a good standard early on. Here are some negotiating tips. Don't be afraid to ask for a raise or a salary bump. Demonstrate why you're worth more money. Do your homework so you understand what the market for your skills will bear. If you are initially refused a raise, ask for written goals and set a future date for another review. Think about alternatives to salary like performance bonuses and non-cash perks that can improve your lifestyle even if they don't directly boost your earning potential. Number 3, figure out your financial goals. Take a moment to dream a little bit. Does your dream life include a house? Do you want to travel every year? Do you want your kids to go to college? Whatever your personal goals are, they'll take some preparation to get there. When we talk about saving and investing, most people think retirement. While retirement is an important goal, there are also many intermediate life goals that require some financial strategizing to achieve. Your goals might include more education. College graduate school and advanced certificate programs can open doors and give your career prospects a serious boost. However, the cost of higher education are rising by about 3% per year. Living expenses and missed income will also raise the cost of education. Planning ahead can help ensure you have money set aside and don't have to rely entirely on loans. If you're already dealing with education debt, your goal might be to pay off your loans as quickly as possible. Want a house? Owning a home is still the dream for many young Americans. For most people, a house will be the largest purchase they ever make, so it's worth planning ahead to save up for a down payment. Learn about your credit score and fix it if necessary. A professional can help you run the numbers on renting versus buying so you understand what the smartest move might be. You want a car? Save up for it. Avoid getting a car loan and making expensive payments each month if you can. Number 4, get out of debt. The average American under the age of 35 has between $23,000 and $30,000 of debt in the form of credit cards, student loans, auto loans, and all other forms of personal debt. The average U.S. household owes about $7,000 on its credit cards, and the average APR for variable rate credit cards is over 15%. This means that the average American family is making over $1,000 in interest payments each year. If you're living with significant debt, paying it off is one of the smartest moves you can make. The reason is simple. You are likely paying more in terms of interest than you are likely to earn by investing. If you're not sure whether to pay down your debt or start investing, call a financial professional so they can help explain the options. 5, protect your credit. For better or worse, your credit score is one of the most important indicators of your financial health. Lenders, employers, landlords, the list of people who have an interest in your credit score seems to keep growing every year. Damaged credit can be really costly over time. For example, mortgage lenders give applicants with lower credit scores a higher risk rating, assigning them higher borrowing costs to make up for the greater potential risk of mortgage default. This calculation translates into higher closing costs. Many people can't afford to pay the extra costs at closing and choose to convert their discount points into an increased mortgage rate, raising the overall cost of the loan. In short, the financial consequences of less than stellar credit can haunt you for decades. Unfortunately, there are no secret formulas or easy fixes for bad credit. Rehabilitation takes time and discipline, but it's very possible to do. Check your credit report every year for free and dispute any errors that you find. Pay all bills on time by setting up payment reminders or enrolling in auto pay if it's possible. Pay off your credit cards in full each month. Finally, our 6th tip of the day. Save and invest for the future. Saving when you're still early in your career and maybe living paycheck to paycheck, I know it's tough. There's a few strategies that can help you even when you don't have a lot of extra income. Automate your savings. The simplest way to make savings unconscious and painless, automatically direct a portion of each paycheck into your savings and investment accounts. You'll quickly get used to having less money to spend each month, and your savings will grow automatically. Focus on saving a percentage of your income. Even if you can only save 5% of your income, it's an amount that will scale as your income grows. Build saving into your budget. If you include your monthly savings goal into your monthly budget, you're much more likely to stick to your plan than if you simply save whatever's left over at the end of the month. Along with saving, investing is one of the best ways to grow and protect your hard-earned wealth over the long term. When you're in your 20s and 30s, retirement can seem like it's a long way off. But it's important to start saving for retirement as soon as you can. Here's a big reason why. The magic of compound interest. Let's say Joe is a 25-year-old investor who makes a single $5,500 contribution to a Roth IRA. If his portfolio earns a hypothetical rate of 8% per year, that single contribution could grow to $119,485 by the time Joe's 65, even if he doesn't add another dime to that IRA. However, if Joe waits just 10 years to start investing, that same $5,500 would only grow to $55,345. While this is a very simplistic example, the basic principle is clear. Time is one of the most important ingredients to long-term investment success. Use these 6 tips and strategies. Be patient and disciplined, and you can put yourself on track to accomplish your goals and dreams.
Hello and welcome to our lifestyles segment of the show. And I'm pleased to present to you Mr. Jim French with the Trinity Players, the Trinity Alps Performing Arts Center, TAPAC.
TAPAC, that's what we call it downtown.
Hey, I'm trying to get the lingo down here, Jim.
You're getting it.
No, I'm really excited to talk to you about the performing arts, and it's something that I know that a lot of retirees that I visit with, they love to not only go to shows, but they love to participate in the shows. So I've got a lot of great questions for you. But first, before we get into that, if people haven't actually heard of the Trinity Performing Arts Center and the Trinity Players, can you give us a history of how long you've been around and what you do?
50 years ago, the Trinity Players was born. We had a lovely lady named Barbara Polka who founded the Trinity Players. That was a drama group of folks that got together and put on plays once or twice a year. About 8 or 9 years ago, the whole world changed when we got a grant and were able to put together a performing arts center, the Trinity Performing Arts Center. There was a group of us, town father types that turned that into a nonprofit business. So we were able to offer drama, but it certainly has become a conference center. We do an awful lot of concerts there. We have some top names. Alistair Frazier's played there. David Grisman's played there. A lot of things involving fiddle, because I'm interested in the fiddle world, and then certainly drama. We just finished 3 or 4 nights of the Red Velvet Cake Wars. And so drama, music, conference center, a place for the mill to hold staff meetings, whatever you need, we try to make it a town center. So
that sounds like way too much fun to be had.
It is fun.
Now the Trinity Players, like you said, has been around for a long, long time. But just in the last 10 years, you said you've had the Performing Arts Center. Yeah. You said that you could only do about two shows before. How many can you do now that you've got the Performing Arts Center?
Well, because it is a volunteer organization, we can do as many, as we can schedule. I'd say if there's 4 weeks in a month, probably at least 2 and possibly 3, we're doing something.
Wow.
Right now, we're in the middle of our Summer Youth Drama Academy for kids. It's in its 5th year. And there's about 30 to 40 children down there as we speak, learning the craft behind the scenes with sound, lights, and then we've got some involved in the play, some as stagehands. And here in a couple weeks, they'll be doing Rumpelstiltskin. So we oftentimes have 2 things going on at the same time, and a certain group will practice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, move their stuff out, and then the other group. So we just finished Red Velvet Cake War yesterday, and Rumpelstiltskin is the next one in line.
That's great. Now, you said something that really kind of piqued my interest. The Trinity Players isn't just a place for already trained actors and trained people who want to get on stage. You're holding summer camps and summer programs, even for the children, and not only teaching them on stage, but also behind the scenes work. Right. Tell me a little bit more about those programs.
Well, being an educator in Trinity County for 38 years, one of my interests was having kids involved. A good majority of our schools, and all schools are welcome in Trinity County, but Douglas City School does their play there. Trinity High School does their annual play there. Weaverville Elementary does, Hayfork High School, and so my happiest days are when we see either kids in the audience or kids on stage. Although we do, an awful lot of adult drama, but a lot of our plays incorporate, for folks from 7 years old to 87 years old.
So talking about
kind of a full circle.
So talking about adult drama. So let's make the shift. You got the programs for the kids. Do you also have programs for retirees?
Oh, certainly. Retirees are kind of the backbone of our organization. We always need people, well, it's kind of the full gamut, but we need people to take tickets. We need people to run concessions. I don't care how old you are. If you got an idea for a show, we'll run it by our board of directors, and hopefully we can do that. We have a number of people in town that write plays, and some of those folks are retirees, and they've done productions of their own shows that they wrote and directed. So there's plenty of opportunity for anyone to get involved. We have an email list of all of our patrons that's probably about 400 or 500 email addresses.
Oh, wow.
So if a show's coming up and I need someone for concessions, or if we need someone to be an usher, or in whatever capacity, I just put that out and say, hey, free tickets if you want to come and help. During the shows, a good
Well, that's always a nice bonus. If I hear, come be an usher and you can get a free show as well. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And a lot of our shows, not all of them, we try to keep them priced moderate pricing, but we never turn anyone away from a show for inability to pay. And several of our programs that we're doing now are by donation only. So you can come and give us $1, 50 cents. Sometimes we'll get $500. because of that.
Yeah.
We want to make it, it's the public's place, and we go out of our way to do that.
That's wonderful.
And I would say, too, because I know this program is about retirees, we lean on retirees heavily, There's a belief they have more time. I don't know. Some of our retirees in town are the busiest people that I know, especially in the Trinity Players, but also in a variety of other organizations.
But a lot of retirees, when they get to that place in their life, they want to volunteer their time. They want to be active and continue to be active. I've spoken to a lot of them, retirees who say, I'm more active in retirement now than when I was actually working. And especially when they can have a passion about something, as obviously you do, Jim, with the arts and with the performing arts. And maybe people, they'd love to get involved. Is there a place where they can reach out to you? Do you have a phone number, website?
Sure. We have an office that's rarely manned that has a phone, but probably the best way to get a hold of us is a contact page on our website, www.tapactonline.org. I think that's how Channel 9, contacted me. And it'll either go to me or someone else on our board of directors, and we'll get back to you very quickly that way.
And then on the website, are there different areas where people can find out about the programs and a little bit of details about upcoming shows and stuff?
Upcoming shows, we've got a list of past shows, how to donate. We're a 501c3. The shows rarely pay for themselves, so we depend on donations, and other organizations to help out. How you can get involved, all that kind of stuff.
Jim, can you give us a quick preview of some of the upcoming shows?
Well, let's see. Like I said, we're doing Rumpelstiltskin, and then just got a call from Ken Hill, drama director at Shasta College. They want to bring The Miracle Worker in the fall. And then near and dear to me, because I play guitar with fiddlers all over the place, just got back from the national contest in Idaho, and fiddling's a big deal in Reading. We'll have our 8th annual Weaverville Open Fiddle Contest, September 12th. And it'll bring in fiddlers young and old from Nevada, Oregon, Washington, California, and we'll have a day of fiddling there.
Fiddle contest, I bet that gets heated, fiddling back and forth and gets a little competitive, but for fun, right?
Right. And then every other year now, we used to do it every year, but we bring the Nutcracker from the Reading Ballet, and they're scheduled to come again this year. That's always delightful for Christmas. And August is a little quiet for us this year, but we also rent out the place to county government to hold in services and just about any use that's community oriented. You can have the Trinity Performing Arts Center for a modest fee.
Jim, thank you so much for being on.
All right.
We appreciate having you. It sounds like a lot of fun you guys are having with the Trinity Players. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get involved, reach out to Jim and the Trinity Players at the website that he gave you, and you can absolutely be involved either on stage, behind the scenes, ushering, or just enjoy the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us this week. If you want more information about any of the guests or the topics we talked about, you can visit the Retirement Lifestyles page at KIXE.org. We'll see you next week on Retirement Lifestyles, where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement.